Cobain, vocal e guitarra do Nirvana, é considerado um dos maiores ícones do rock. No entanto, sua habilidade como guitarrista foi frequentemente questionada, com alguns críticos o chamando de o pior guitarrista do mundo. Há uma série de alegações para essa avaliação. Cobain não era um guitarrista técnico. Ele não dominava escalas técnicas de dedilhado ou solos elaborados. Em vez disso, seu estilo era baseado em acordes simples e riffs repetitivos. Além disso, Kurdt não era um músico muito disciplinado. Ele costumava tocar de forma desleixada e imprecisa, com erros frequentes. Era conhecido por quebrar guitarras em shows, o que reforçava a imagem de um músico rebelde e pouco preocupado com a técnica. No entanto, apesar dessas críticas, Cobain também era um músico extremamente criativo e expressivo. Ele tinha um talento natural para escrever melodias e criar atmosferas únicas. Sua guitarra era um instrumento de expressão pessoal, e ele a usava para transmitir suas emoções e ideias. O estilo de Kurt Cobain foi uma das principais influências do grunge, um gênero musical que surgiu na década de 90. O grunge era caracterizado por um som sujo e distorcido, com letras que abordavam temas como angústia, alienação e frustração. A popularidade do grunge ajudou a transformar Kurt Cobain em um ícone cultural. Tornou-se um símbolo daquela geração, uma geração que se sentia desiludida com o mundo adulto. Embora Cobain tenha sido criticado por sua técnica, sua contribuição para o rock é inegável. Ele foi um músico inovador e influente que ajudou a moldar o som de uma geração. A história de Kurt Cobain como o pior guitarrista do mundo é um exemplo de como a crítica musical pode ser subjetiva e influenciada por fatores externos. Cobain não era um guitarrista técnico, mas isso não significa que ele fosse um músico ruim. Seu estilo era único e expressivo, e ele teve uma grande influência dentro do rock. A crítica musical é uma forma de arte, e como toda forma de arte, ela é subjetiva. Os críticos musicais têm suas próprias preferências e opiniões, que podem influenciar suas avaliações. No caso de Kurt Cobain, sua imagem rebelde pode ter influenciado a opinião dos críticos, levando-os a ser mais severos com sua técnica. A crítica musical também pode ser influenciada por fatores externos, como a popularidade da banda ou o contexto histórico. Em 2012, a revista Rolling Stone publicou uma lista dos 100 maiores guitarristas de todos os tempos, baseada na opinião de um painel de especialistas.
And people say someone like Kurt Cobain wasn't a great guitar player. Well, was he a virtuoso guitar player? You can argue not, but was he effective? Try to play like Kurt Cobain. It's not that easy, you know, or Billy Joe Armstrong. I mean, you ever see him play? It's visceral. Every note in every chord pops. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like a giant orchestra. That's hard to do, but it was in his head. And he required a particular amount of technique to follow what he...
Kurt Cobain ficou na posição 73, atrás de nomes como Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page e Eddie Van Halen. A revista reconheceu que Cobain não era um guitarrista virtuoso, mas destacou a sua originalidade, criatividade e impacto na música. A revista afirmou que Cobain transformou a guitarra em uma arma de catarse emocional, e que ele criou um som que equilibrava a beleza melódica com a fúria do punk. No entanto, nem todos concordaram com essa avaliação positiva. Em 2014, o site Ultimate Guitar realizou uma enquete com os seus leitores para eleger os piores guitarristas de todos os tempos. Para a surpresa de muitos, Kurt Cobain ficou em primeiro lugar, superando nomes como Lil Wayne, Nick Jonas e Fred Durst.
Shag my friends tonight!
O site explicou que a votação foi baseada na técnica, na habilidade e no talento dos guitarristas, e não na sua popularidade ou influência. O site também disse que a enquete não tinha a intenção de ofender ou desrespeitar os artistas, mas apenas de refletir a opinião dos seus usuários. A enquete gerou muita polêmica e debate entre os fãs de música. Alguns concordaram que Kurt Cobain era um guitarrista ruim, argumentando que ele não sabia tocar bem, que ele usava muitos efeitos para disfarçar os seus erros, que ele não tinha variedade ou complexidade nas suas composições, e que ele era superestimado pela mídia e pelo público. Outros defenderam que Kurt Cobain era um guitarrista bom, alegando que ele tinha um estilo único e inovador, que ele transmitia muita emoção e energia nas suas performances, que ele influenciou muitas bandas e gerações posteriores, e que não precisava ser um virtuose para fazer música de qualidade. A questão sobre as habilidades de Kurt Cobain como guitarrista é difícil de ser respondida de forma objetiva, pois envolve critérios subjetivos e pessoais. O que é certo é que Kurt deixou um legado musical inegável e marcante, que continua a inspirar e emocionar milhões de pessoas ao redor do mundo. Ele pode não ter sido o melhor guitarrista do mundo, mas certamente foi um dos mais importantes.
Well, it had the whole attitude during the show in São Paulo. I was talking again about it. Was naivety, I think, and how much a huge crowd of 50,000 can get this message of purity or naivety. Does it matter how big is the show for you to send this message?
Well, that's kind of a hard thing. It's kind of a hard question to answer because it's it's flattering to know that we are affecting that many people, but I'm certain that a very good majority of the people had no idea what the fuck we were doing. You know, they had no idea that we were doing new wave covers and trying to have fun and trading off instruments and just trying to have a party atmosphere, because most of them only attend those kind of arena large rock shows and they expect a very clean professional performance from a band. So, you know, but as far as I'm concerned, I would rather play in a smaller club because it's just more intimate and fun. I really like it. I can hear the band. I'm closer to my bandmates, and we can look at each other. I don't have to say, "Hey, Chris," 100 feet away over there, you know.
Right. Well, so, and it seems like you were playing with the audience all the time. Like you would say rock and roll, people would go, "Yeah," and they would. That was a very natural answer, but you're not serious about it. When we were saying things like, "Hey, rock and roll," and people say, "Yeah," this is the kind of arena attitude, right?
Yeah, and because I guess we're taking the piss out of that.
Right, but that's okay. I mean, that was the only show I ever saw from Nirvana. So that's your attitude every big show you're doing lately?
Most of the time, yeah. That's one of the only ways that we can really deal with the idea, the reality of playing in front of that many people, because we never ever intended to do that, you know. And I've never hardly ever enjoyed watching an arena rock show. I think I've only seen a few of them. I really liked Aerosmith when I saw them about 10 years ago, and that was a really big show. Mm-hmm. But that's just because I like the band so much, and I was real familiar with the songs and everything. But I would have rather seen them in a club, you know, or a theater of a few thousand people, for sure.
One really weird thing is that before Kurt died, he overdosed once when we were on tour, and I was actually back at home and he was in Europe, and someone had called me and told me that he had died, and I immediately freaked out and was a total disaster and just crying and losing my mind. And then 5 minutes later they called and said, actually, he's not dead. So then it was the greatest day of my life because he was okay. But I was just so confused, like emotionally. I was just like, oh my God, what do I even feel right now? 5 minutes ago, I thought that he had died, and now he's alive, and that's so weird. And so, so when he finally did pass away, I just had such crazy emotional confusion that it was really, really strange. And still to this day, I don't even know if I've figured it out. I mean, that was a long time ago, and I've talked about it and thought about it and grieved about it a lot. But yeah, I don't think that there's any sort of like roadmap for it. I think that each person does it in a different way, and it's just okay if you have those periods where you feel shame for not feeling more. And I don't necessarily think you should. I think it just is what it is, and it'll get you eventually.
One more thing about Nirvana, which is what happened with fame, right? I'm always curious about that, because you go from, just, again, regular guys who love music, who are playing in this band, and you guys you and Kurdt have known each other a long time from this small town, and then all of a sudden you are unbelievably famous. What happened next?
There's a lot of pressure, and then there's being like just living in this little counterculture world, and then getting pulled into the mainstream. And it's just like, wow, all of a sudden, we're the biggest band in the world, and there was a lot of pressure. And the most pressure was on Kurdt. So he was the singer, he was out there, the songwriter, and so he was under a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel? Did you feel in some ways elated? Oh my God, look at this.
I think looking back, I was just confused. And it took me a lot of years to kind of work through that. And I tried to do the best I could, and we were the best. Nirvana was we were at our best when we were playing. We liked to rehearse, we liked to make songs and play together. And that's what we did best. That's when we were happy.
And the rest was a whirlwind.
I have dreams about Kurdt, and I'm so happy to see him when in a dream, like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. And then we're always like, well, okay, let's go play. We're always going to go play music. So there's some kind of connection there.